Hello, sunshine! It is me, Rachel. Hi. We're here for my third book review of 2020. Yay! I actually read a grand total of 9 books since the last time I made one of these videos, which it's a lot to review. Also, I don't think I made my video that long ago, but you know, I just like steamrolled through some books. Let's get in to the books I've read. Alright, we got a Goodreads it, because 9 books is a lot. I honestly don't really remember all of them. So let's get into it. Okay, so for the books, as usual, I'm going to go in chronological order for the most part. However, I'm actually going to start with the, I guess, second book I've read since my last video, as well as the 4th and 9th. Here's why. I read 3 of the Percy Jackson series since my last video, and it just makes more sense to do them all together, and we're gonna just get through them. The book I'm reading right now is actually the 5th book in that series, so part of me feels like I could just review it now, but I haven't finished it. I don't know how it ends, and there are some endings I'm like okay with, and some endings I feel like I would not be, so we have to like wait and see how it goes. So I'll review it in the next video. What was that? Was that like basketball? Woo! Let's start with the first 3 books. So I enjoyed all 3 of them. They were pretty good books. I think, let me double check, but I think I gave each of them 4 stars. I think I've given every book in the series 4 stars so far, yeah. Percy Jackson got the first one. Lightning Thief got 4 stars. Sea of Monsters got 4 stars. So yeah, I'll tell you the names. There's the Sea of Monsters, book 2. Book 3 is the Titan's Curse, which also got 4 stars. And then I know for a fact the Battle of the Labyrinth got 4 stars. So far, the whole series is 4-star level. I really like the series. I will say, as much as I love, whenever it gets more into the like relationship stuff, I'm just like, I'm not as interested in it. I really like the like battles. I do like the like relationships being built, but it's like it's just the love part. I'm just like, ugh. I also will say, like, I really like the mythology of like Greek and Roman religion, and as much as I love their like Rick Riordan's interpretation, there are some things that I'm like, oh, I like it better this way. But you know, for the most part is very good. I think I talked a little bit about the plot of the first book last time, but so the plot for the entire series is that Percy Jackson has this huge prophecy about him, and so he plays a major role in all of these different quests. So every book is a different quest to complete a different task, leading up to like, you know, books like, you know, Hunger Games, Harry Potter. They all have like the big bad at the end, and you're just building up to it. So anyways, you're building up to the big bad with Greek mythology. So I enjoy it. I would recommend it. Anyways, so now that I have done those 3, I'll do the other 6 in chronological order. So this was actually the first book I read after my last video. It's called The Sun and Her Flowers by Rupi Kaur. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. As always, I'll repeat this later too, the titles and authors of all of the books will be in the description below, in case you're interested. The Sun and Her Flowers is a poetry book by Rupi. Kaur. I really like her poetry. I know it's like very like trendy right now, and so some people might not like it, but I do enjoy it. I like what she has to say. Yeah, I liked it. I would say the poetry style is, I don't know, I'm not saying this as an insult, it's very much like the Instagram poetry, you know, the poetry you see like posted on Instagram all the time. I personally like that to a certain extent. I gave it 5 stars because I did enjoy it. Okay, the next book that I read was The Outsiders, which, I will be honest, is a book I technically read years ago, which also, I think I mentioned this in the last video. I was gonna say episode, these aren't episodes. The last video I made for book reviews, I did read Percy Jackson, the first 3 Percy Jackson's books when I was like in middle school or something like that. But I haven't read them since, and so since it's been a long time, I'm counting the rereads. If I were to reread something I've read recently, like if I were to go back and reread one of the books on this list, it wouldn't count twice for me. It would just count once. But The Outsiders is a book I've read multiple times in the past, but the last time I read it was either late high school or early college, so it's been at least 4 years. It is one of my very favorite books, but I think it's good to like go back and reread your favorite books and like form new opinions. But I love The Outsiders. If you don't know what The Outsiders is about, it's about like a group of guys who live on the bad side of town, and them dealing with that and with the conflict between the people on the good side of town. And then events happen. I don't want to spoil it. Events happen, and the youngest person, and the narrator, who is the youngest, like has to grow up pretty fast. Has one of my favorite lines in literature, which is "Stay gold, pony boy." Love it. Anyways, it's 5 out of 5 stars for me because, like I said, it's probably, I don't know, it's probably up there in like my top 5 or 10 books. I haven't really evaluated it recently, but it's definitely up there for me, so I would recommend it. It's also, I think, considered classic literature. So the next book that I read is called The Way Home. It is from a series of graphic novels called Owlie. So it's the first one. I won't be reading anymore. Here's the thing. I didn't dislike this book. I just was very neutral to it. It's a graphic novel. It was a very, I think I read it in like less than an hour. I didn't realize, I don't mind reading like children's literature or books like targeted towards kids, you know. I didn't realize how young this was technically like targeted, I guess. But it really was just, I don't know how else to describe it. I just felt incredibly neutral about it. It's about this owl making friends and like going around and living life. I don't know. He's a nice owl. But I'm truly neutral about this book. Okay, so the next book I read was A School for Unusual Girls, which is also the first book in a series, which I will not be finishing, because technically I did not finish it. I think on BookTube it's DNF. I DNF'd it. I did not finish this book. I read most of it and I read the ending and I decided to count it. I didn't like it. I don't want to harp on it too much because The writing, I think, was pretty good. I read it a while ago, to be honest, like a month ago, and then I read like 5 more books before now. So, but I think the writing was pretty good. So it might be for you. The problem for me was that just from reading the description and like the first chapter or so, I already figured out one of the big twists. Like I had already solved it. And then it was frustrating for me that the main character hadn't solved it, hadn't figured out what was going on. And then on top of that, the main character was like, sometimes I felt like she was supposed to be portrayed as this like rebellious, it was set in the 1800s, so she was supposed to be this like rebellious woman who was modern in the old-timey world, but also in the first like third of the book she passed out like at least 3 times. It bothered me that happened. Anyways, it's about a girl who goes away to a school and like learns stuff. I don't know. I don't have much else to say about it. I think that it was probably a good book that just wasn't my taste personally. That's what I will say. The next book I read was called Red, like the color. The Fairly True Tale of Red Riding Hood. It was by Liesl Shurtiff. It is like targeted towards children. It's youth fiction. I really liked it though, and I started it a while ago, and then I had didn't have the book personally, and so then I had to get it in from the library. But just to read the last, I think it was like the last 50 or 60 pages. It's crazy. Anyways, I liked it a lot. It's an interpretation of Little Red Riding Hood, and I enjoyed it. Her granny is sick, and she goes to try to find a cure, and like goes on all these crazy adventures and discovers the meaning of life. That's an exaggeration. She discovers a lot of things about herself and the world around her. Anyways, I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. I do like it though. I liked it. I think I gave it 3 stars instead of 4 because I just had read books recently that I liked more. Like I liked so much more. And so it was good though. I liked it. The next book I read was Empty Bottles Full of Stories, which is a poetry book by R.H. Sin and Robert M. Drake. They each wrote half of it. Which one? I think I liked one half better, and I want to say, so I don't remember who wrote which half. I think, oh my gosh, they used different fonts. That's why I'm looking closely, because I think the fonts like matched up on the cover, but I can't tell for sure. There's the second half I liked better. I didn't like it very much, so I gave it 2 out of 5 stars, and that's about all I have to say about it. And then that's it, because then the next book I read was the 4th Percy Jackson book. So I am now at 20 out of 25 books, and I'm almost done with 1, so then I just need 4 more books, and I will be at my goal. I actually am hoping to go over my goal, and then that'd be cool. Be cool to go above my goal. So there's just gonna be one more video of me reviewing books, but then there'll be another one after that of me ranking all of the books I read in 2020. I hope you're looking forward to that and not dreading it. Am I right? Anyways, that's all. I feel super guilty that there were so many books this time that I didn't like as much. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. If you want to be notified whenever I post a new video, go ahead and ring the notification bell. The links for my social media accounts will be posted in the description below, along with a link for Black Lives Matter and a list of all of the books and their authors that I talk about in this video. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a great day. Peace, love, and buttercups. Anyways, it's fine. It's fine. It is very exciting to me. There's a character in Percy Jackson who comes in the third book, I think, who has the name of Rachel. I always love it when characters have the same name as me. I'm like, me? I'm great at talking. Great speaker. Speech maker.